There's a lot of things that can cause autistic burnout: stress, masking, social isolation, lack of support. We're forced to act in a way that appeases those around us, but tires us out. Maintaining eye contact, following a script when socializing, suppressing our stims, and forcing ourselves to tolerate sensory inputs that may be overwhelming to us. We do our best to fit in by bending over backwards for others in hopes that of making some kind of connection with others. And honestly, this can be more than tiring. It can be hurtful. I remember listening to Neurodivergent Rebel talk about masking, and they brought up something I had never thought of before. But when they talked about it, I realized that it was something that I had felt. Masking can hurt our self esteem. When we mask, we're accepted, but when we don't, we're ostracized. Those we mask around prefer the masked us over the unmasked us, and that really hurts. When they see our authentic self, they recoil, letting us know that the real us is not the version of us that's desired or wanted by some people. This adds on to the stress of masking, constantly telling ourselves, don't be weird, don't be weird, don't be weird. If you're weird, they won't like you. It makes us feel like there's something wrong with us. It further isolates us because it forces us to mask even at times when we're too exhausted to. We maintain this facade because in the past, if we didn't, we were bullied and harassed. We were taught throughout our lives that what behaviors were deemed acceptable and which ones weren't. So we do our best to hide the unacceptable, quote unquote, behaviors, even if those same behaviors are used to calm us down in stressful situations. We push ourselves beyond our natural abilities until we finally can't push ourselves anymore and we break. I wish I could give advice on how to stop this, but I can't. I can't control when I mask and when I don't. I'm not. It almost feels like I'm not the one putting the mask on and off. Sometimes I can't socialize because I'm too tired, and I don't know how to socialize with my mask off when it comes to most people. It's the same with going outside. If I'm too exhausted to mask, I try to avoid going outside because I know that if I do, I'll be pushing myself too much. Other things that can cause burnout is stretching yourself too thin, having too much on your plate, and not pacing yourself can cause anyone to burn out. But when you add autism into the equation, it can cause you to burn out much sooner and much more severely. Constant schedule changes, prolonged exposure to things that can cause sensory overload, like fluorescent lights or just background noises that you can't block out. Lacking much needed support but denied access to it, like noise canceling headphones or just another person to help lighten the workload. When at school or in the workplace, there are expectations put upon everyone. But when you can't meet those expectations because you're all overwhelmed, or something is causing sensory overload, or you're just really tired from masking, you don't always get the option of ducking out and unwinding. We have to keep working and stretching ourselves beyond our breaking point. Many autistics have lost jobs because of burnout. They can't just go to their boss and say, hey, I can't keep working at this pace. Can I slow down? Or, hey, this task is too difficult for me. Can you give me something that I find simpler? No. You keep going until you can't anymore. You push yourself beyond what you're capable of. You keep pushing and pushing. You ignore your body and your brain when they tell you to stop until eventually you burn out and you're forced to stop. This is why sometimes burnout can make you physically ill. Your body has been pushed so hard that it gets sick. Whether it's too tired to fight off a bug, or the stress of it all causes health problems such as digestion issues. It's similar with school. If you don't work hard enough, your grades will suffer. You don't think about what will happen if you push yourself too hard because there's so much pressure on you to succeed that you don't think about it. Since I don't have much experience with the workplace, most of the times I've dealt with autistic burnout is from school. I remember in grade 9 completely skipping the last couple of weeks of gym class because it was my most stressful class and I had exams to study for. I've always been pretty good at studying. Heck, one of my favorite things to do is study up on something new I just learned. My problem with school was the classmates and teachers, and gym class was the worst for me. My school had gender segregated gym classes, so it was an all-girls gym class, and most of the girls were either bullies or shy and quiet. One of the biggest problems was that one of the bullies was the teacher. I was treated in a way that was a constant reminder that I didn't fit in. No matter how much I masked and tried to fit in, it was never good enough for them. Eventually, I realized the stress from just being in gym class with these people was wearing me down to the point where it was affecting my ability to study for my exams. So I just skipped gym class for the rest of the school year. I would just hide and study. I know that if I hadn't done that, I would have burned myself out, and I didn't care enough about that class to push myself beyond the breaking point. Now with college, I did push myself beyond my breaking point. I did fairly well during my first and second year. I was taking business accounting. I got my 2-year college diploma and wanted to go for a degree, which would have taken 4 years in total. The third year was all group work. Not a single project wasn't group work. I tried so hard to succeed. I didn't want to just drop out because I was putting myself in debt for this. And I didn't want to have nothing to show for it. Eventually, I was pushed too far. I burned out because I didn't have any option to ease my stress. Even though the teachers knew I was autistic, they refused to do anything to accommodate me. So I dropped out. Burnout often happens during a transition period in our lives. Puberty, switching schools, changing jobs, moving, and other stressful changes. I was misdiagnosed as bipolar not long after I hit puberty. And I bet that the severe mood swings that I was experiencing was from autistic burnout. Not only had I started puberty, but I had just changed schools and one of my best friends had moved away. Too much was changing and I couldn't handle it, so I burned out and lost my ability to regulate my emotions. Since bipolar ran in my family, and I didn't show the typical male signs of autism that was often looked for, my psychiatrist put 2 and 2 together and accidentally got 5.